Hello, it's Sarah making another activity video for our curious kids from the Wiltshire Museum. I'm out in my back garden at the moment because we're going to be using our lovely sand pit for this. And we're going to look at how to set up your own archaeological dig and take records of your finds. You can combine this with the other dig activity that I did, which you'll find on our YouTube channel. You don't need much for this activity at all. You need some string, some paper. I'll explain where you can do the activity if you don't have a sand pit in the video. Some things to dig with, anything out of your kitchen, you don't need to have a spade. And throughout the video also I'll be giving some suggestions and ideas about how you can adapt this activity to suit either the things that you're trying to teach your children, your home learning from your schools or your preschool settings, and also just to adapt to the challenges if you have two children of different ages at home. It can be really tricky to get them involved and getting something out of the same activity at the same time. So I hope you all enjoy it, and now I will show you how to put together your very own archaeological dig. So find yourself a place to set up your dig. I've used a sand pit, but you could use an area of your garden, a pot for growing plants in, or if you don't have any of these, you could use a large tub with some porridge oats or some couscous and bury the things in there. Mark out a reference grid in the area you're using and label the areas of the grid in a way that suits your child. I've done letters of the alphabet here because I've got one younger child and we could do letter recognition as we were going along. And then think about what you're going to bury. It could be anything really, but you can theme it on colour, texture, or perhaps a topic from your home learning that you're trying to get across at the moment. So for example, my daughter's working on recognising coins and value, so you could bury some of those. Or for younger children, picking objects of different colours, using, for example, these magnets that are letters of the alphabet, whatever works for you. I also buried some pirate coins in one area of the sandpit, and we talked about discovering hoards and some of the local finds in Wiltshire. So gather your archaeologist kit of things you can find around the house, teaspoons, brushes, whatever you have to hand, and get your children to work out how to best use them. Perhaps remind them to be careful of the finds, just in case they're important. And then the next thing you want to think about is how you're going to record your finds. So we made a list. I also took this opportunity to get my eldest to think about describing words. Can you describe it to me? Colour, texture, size, all those sorts of things. This whole thing could be a great problem-solving activity. How would you mark out the grid? How would you label the areas? How would you record the finds? My eldest very quickly said in response to that question, well, why don't we just put them back in the squares we found them in, next to the letter, and take a photograph, Mummy? Of course, 9 times out of 10, if you give them the power over the activity, they come up with a better way to do it than I ever could. I hope you've enjoyed this one and watch out for our next videos. Bye bye.